Hey, this is Matthew from Nerd News Today, and welcome to Free Comic Book Day 2019. I'm here in Manhattan today to give you guys a glimpse of what FCBD is like in New York City. Now, granted, this is only Manhattan, it's just one of the 5 boroughs. We're not going to be visiting all 5 boroughs today, because that's going to be a lot of work and impossible to do. But at the very least, I'm going to show you a few of the spots around Midtown that you can go to, and that's not even every single store in Manhattan. So we're not going to be going to Forbidden Planet, there near Union Square, and that's a bit further away from where we are now in Midtown. There's also a place called Mysterious Island, which I don't really know much about because it's called Mysterious Island. And just like one or two other spots. There used to be a few more, like St. Mark's Comics, but they just unfortunately closed a few months ago. So yeah, we're going to try and hit up Midtown, which is our first stop. Then we're going to head over to Kinokuniya, then Montasy Comics, and probably end up at Jim Hanley. So yeah, stick around. We're heading to our first location now. It's 7:30 in the morning. It's going to be a long day of getting comics. Alright, so we're coming up to stop number 1, and that's Midtown Comics, 40th Street and 7th Avenue. And the way this works is you're going to have a big old line, which looks like it's already formed, even at 7:30 in the morning. There's apparently people here at 7. They have a big line, they give you a ticket, you then wait, the line starts moving, and they give you a bag. And in theory, that bag holds all the comics from Free Comic Book Day. It's not a guarantee, as we've learned, sometimes people who are actually earlier in line tend to not actually get everything. Mostly because of the way they pack the truck. But we're going to see what our luck is today. And yes, it's about like maybe 7:40, a little bit after 7:40. And we'll see how big this line actually is. So the Midtown guys are unloading boxes as we speak, and they have, as you can see, kind of sort of, the bags in there. And they got a lot of boxes. So I think last year they actually run out by like 10 or something, so we'll see how long these last. So Midtown is the kind of place where you want to get there at least, a little early and pair with the enormous line, just because, yeah, it seems like a lot, but it will move pretty quickly.
We got some!
So the comics are being dispersed now. We were actually front of the line. Who knew? They had to split the line up just because of parking issues, but they're moving on. You can see how fast this goes. It's a very automated thing here. Midtown Comics is total pros, and everybody gets a full bag. So Midtown's in full swing. We're going to go ahead and take a little bit of a break, and they're going to head to spot number 2. And now, by the way, folks, it's 6 minutes after 8. We were the first ones in line, essentially, besides this other sub-line, what was weird. But yeah, it's about like 8:06 now. There's no line. So just a heads up for you guys. There still actually is plenty of comics. I think they'll probably run out by after 10 or probably closer to 11. But yeah, if you do plan on coming to Midtown Comics, you can, you don't need to get here at 7 o'clock. You can wait a few minutes. You'll be fine. It's now about 9:45, and we're across the street from Bryant Park, which you can see right there. Still in Midtown, just a few blocks over from where we just were. And here's the line for Kinokuniya, which is a Japanese bookstore chain across the country, actually. And this is their New York location. And so they're going to be opening up at 10. And the line is actually really small, which is nice. That's kind of the nice thing about Kinokuniya, so the line is very, very small always. Just a heads up, by the way, so I didn't mention it before, regarding Midtown Comics, they do have 2 other locations. We just went to the Midtown Times Square location, but they have another location uptown a little bit, not really uptown, but 3rd Avenue, as well as a spot downtown Fulton Street. And they're also doing the exact same thing there with the trucks. So if you don't want to come to Times Square, there are 2 other ways to do it. But Kinokuniya, personally, is my favorite spot of all the Free Comic Book Day spots. And as you can see, very manageable line, even when it's 20 minutes before showtime. So it will get more crowded, that's for sure. So we're going to go ahead and cut, and we'll see you guys in a few minutes once they open up the doors. So they also have, you can see in the corner there, they have the Spider-Man statue from Diamond Select, which is one of 5,000. It's a black costume Spidey. I think it's for $50. We'll get a better shot of it as we get down the line, but cool to see it here. Most stores have very limited supply of that.
Make sure that you're only picking up stuff that's meant for yourself. If you have a child with you, that's what the kids' comics are for. Try not to pick up every single book if it's not something that you would genuinely be interested in.
Yeah.
I kind of actually want them all, so. Thank you. So I'm actually walking around in Kino and I found these Neko Buso. Looks like it's the next wave. We haven't actually reviewed these on the site, but I actually have the first two waves, and I have all of waves. I guess it's wave 3 we'll call it, which is the cats as dinosaurs, which I absolutely need to have. There we go. Focus. Cats as dinosaurs, and there's even a deluxe one over here. I did not know these were even out, so yeah, I'm gonna get these, and we'll be back soon after I finish with my O-Face. Alright, so we're done at Kinokuniya. Now we're at location number 3, which is Montasy Comics. This is located on 5th Avenue between West 39th and 38th Street, and it's got a very, very, very small line, most because a lot of people I don't think even actually know about Montasy. So yeah, Kino was alright. This year it actually wasn't as good as previous years. They were really, really hard on pushing things. They were kind of low energy as well. They were really pushing selling stuff when I say they were pushing things. A little unfriendly this year, unfortunately. And but I can kind of understand because they have a lot less inventory than most of their stores do. You know, like Midtown Comics, they get everything. Looks like Kinokuniya, they get like one box and then they're out. So they were really trying not to have everybody take every single comic. Now Montasy is like most other stores where they don't really allow you to take everything. It's, I think, a limit of 3 books. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look up there. I've actually never been to this store, so kind of excited to check it out. Alright, so that was Montasy Comics. That was pretty cool. And now we're at JHU, Jim Hanley Universe Comic Books. Jim Hanley's a store that's been around for a long time. They're one of the older comic book stores in New York City, but they moved around a lot in Manhattan. So this is their current location on 3rd Avenue, and I think this is 33rd Street, or between like 33rd and 32nd. So we're gonna go in there and check out how they do Free Comic Book Day. Our look inside Jim Hanley. And so how they do it is, again, like most of their places, it's a limit of 3 books, and they have a pretty decent selection, and they opened up at 11, which is also when Montasy opened up, and there's not much of a line, so that's also pretty nice. Granted, it's a rainy day in New York, so it's kind of ugly outside, probably deterred a lot of folks from coming, but Jim Hanley's not that bad, and it's a little bit off the beaten path, so you might have an easier time coming here just looking for something specific. So we're going to go ahead and regroup and take a look at our bounty in a little bit. So we survived the journey back from Manhattan, and here is a quick look at essentially our payload. Now at Jim Hanley's, I actually didn't take any books because I decided at that point I was pretty sure I had everything, or at least I was confident enough in my selections that I didn't want to take any more, especially because they have such a small selection there. And that is key, because most places you go to, they're not going to necessarily have the ability to give you every single thing, so you're going to need to prioritize what you actually want to have versus just getting everything. I get lucky that I'm in New York City and then I have the opportunity to actually get everything. But even then, just kind of comparing, you know, this bag right here, this is the stuff from Montasy. That's 3 comics. You can see it's kind of very small, thin compared to everything else. This is the bag from Midtown that is, you know, what I thought might have been all of them, but wasn't really sure. And then here's what I got from Kino. And in fact, you can basically see, like, it is a lot thicker than what I got from Midtown Comics, which is interesting, because, again, Midtown used to be the ones that would give you everything, and here it is. I went to Kino, and it looks like I probably got most of what I needed there. Or at least a wider selection of what I wanted there, including this book on top, which I think was exclusive to them, or it might just be like a random book they had but we'll get to that in a second. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I got in each of these bags, starting with Midtown Comics. So of course there is a lovely coupon here, which was valid, well, starting today, but still goes for a few more days, so I can get 20% off my purchase. Very cool. And that is an important thing. I know I made fun of, or I was, a little unhappy with how Kinokuniya handled that this year, like really pushing people to go up and buy stuff, which, by the way, I did. I ended up spending about $60 in cash, and I normally shop and spend there a lot. One of the things that happens at a free comic book day is a lot of folks who would normally go to a comic store go and visit. And yeah, it is important that if you go, you should support your local comic book store when they do this, because these books are not actually free. They are charged. Stores are charged about 10 cents an issue. So, it's not like they're just getting these books for free. It is a promotional tool for them. And a promotional tool costs money. It's very important that you do go to your local comic book stores and support them financially, and don't just go once a year to get a stack of free stuff. So continuing our look, on the top of it is My Hero Academia, which I'm very excited to have. We've got the Star Wars Adventures book. I have Disney's Descendants, Deadly Class, Stranger Things, Lumberjanes, Shape of Friendship, Minecraft, Valiant's Bloodshot, Viz Media's Pokemon I Choose You. I don't know what's happened to Ash's face, but things sure have changed since my day of Pokemon reading. Lauren Miracle's Under the Moon. I am actually pretty interested in this book, and I don't really know much about it, but I'm excited to actually finally have it. Got one of the Marvel titles, which is the Avengers book. And let's see, sometimes they're double-sided. I don't know if it is in this case. Normally, double-sided meaning you'd flip it completely over and it'd be another comic. This looks like this time around, this is one of those books that is just one straight thing. Dear Justice League, another one of those that I was very interested in, not because, I'm super interested in, I guess, the younger market comics, but I kind of like the painting and the drawing, whatever this is here. I kind of liked how this stuff looked, so I want to see how the rest of the book actually does look. Another Marvel title, I've got Spider-Man, and this is, also not one of those double-sided books. But it does look like a better one than we've gotten in the past from Marvel, because I know some of the times in the past, a lot of the Marvel books haven't been very heavy on the comic. They've been a little bit heavier on like lore and that kind of stuff, like filling in a lot of the blanks. And yeah, that I didn't really like as much, but these look like they're actually legitimate comics. And the last thing I got was DC's Year of the Villain. So, alright, that's my big stack here of what I got from Midtown. Let's now compare it to what I got from this giant bag from Kinokuniya. So here is the stack of what I got from Kinokuniya. These were all hand-picked by me, because again, they weren't really telling you to take every single book, especially the kids' books. They really didn't want those to be given out unless you were a kid or had a kid. So this is just what I took that I did have interested in, and I was banking on having some of those things over there already from Midtown. But again, this is much thicker, so it's kind of disappointing to see, how little I got at Midtown compared to what I got from Kino. And I should add that Kino ran out of their stuff pretty quickly, apparently, because they don't get as much as Midtown does. So we weren't there for very long. Again, we were shopping for a bit there. But within 10 to 15 minutes, they'd already run out of a lot of stuff. So, that is an important thing to note, is if you are going to do this, if you want to make sure you get more stuff, I would suggest Midtown Comics in New York to get you a better shot, because they have a higher bulk content of this kind of stuff. Kino, they're still pretty new at this. I think this is their third year doing it, so they don't quite have everything packed down yet. And again, like other smaller stores, you should still support them anyway, just because you should visit them and check out what they have. But alright, let's take a look at what we got here from Kino. We start with this Dragon Ball Super book. This is double-sided. This is what I was talking about, where you flip it and it's another book. And I did not see this anywhere else. As far as I could tell, this is only at Kino. So we got a really cool Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Super book. Sheet's Story. I have no idea what this one's about, but I really am intrigued by the cover, and very happy I got this in my pile. Another copy of Lumberjanes, another copy of Dear Justice League, Street Fighter, Sakura vs. Karen, Kino's Journey, The Beautiful World, Kiro Shioyama. Don't know anything about this, but the cover was pretty intriguing. Another copy of Avengers, which by the way has a really cool cover. Spawn #1. So I'm kind of surprised I did not get this in my Midtown pile. Yeah, this is a pretty cool one, because Spawn is headed for a pretty big milestone. They're about to hit number 300 in a few months, followed by 301, making it like one of the longest running books, which is very exciting news. And this is the freebie to kind of help people get back into Spawn or remind him that he exists, because he is about to have a really big anniversary. Another copy of Bloodshot, and I have been reading Valiant stuff actually more often lately. So yeah, this is what I actually was talking about. Just kind of pass some stuff here. You notice there actually is plenty of comic in here, but I did see a few pages somewhere in here that had like some lore and history maybe. Yeah, like this is the kind of stuff that's not as exciting to me, but again, at an event like Free Comic Book Day, this is the best time to introduce people to your titles, and so I expect to see this in some of the bigger companies' books. Another copy of Stranger Things. I did want to get this, I just now have doubles, so that's unfortunate. I'm actually pretty sure I have a third. Another My Hero Academia. Ooh yeah. Another copy of Spider-Man. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, who are celebrating their 35th anniversary this year, which is pretty awesome. And I am looking forward to seeing what's going on in this book. That looks like a crazy panel right there. Looking forward to seeing what's going on in the Turtle world. I've been trying to keep up here and there with Turtle comics, and yeah, I've seen some of this guy here. They're kind of interesting, actually. I'd like to give him more of a read at some point, and maybe this will help other people kind of think that way as well. Riverdale, which is probably pretty cool. I don't know if this is based on the TV show specifically, or if it's just like they're calling it season 3, kind of like how Dark Horse breaks up the Buffy books. But Archie has had my interest lately, so I'm kind of curious what's going on. Starburns presents number 2. This one's got monkeys wrestling on the cover. I mean, I'm pretty much sold right here. I'm pretty sure this is one of those anthology books where there's a few different things in here. Yeah, it looks like there's a few different types of stories in here. So this is them kind of just showing off a few of their different titles. Oh, in fact, this one is a pretty interesting one here. This is Invasion of the Planet WrestleTopia, I believe that's what it's called here. It's actually pretty neat. We might be talking a little more about this at some point on the channel. So if you're a wrestling fan and a comic book fan, this might be something up your alley, worth checking out. Doctor Who from our friends over at Titan. This is a comic about the 13th Doctor, and the journey of a lifetime starts here. I'm wondering if they basically are giving away the entire first issue of the Doctor for free. So yeah, there's our 13th Doctor. Wonder what kind of adventure she's going on in this book. It's funny that I actually mentioned Buffy and how they did the season comic. Here I am looking at Buffy and Firefly, which is coming out from Boom, because Boom now has the Buffy license and Firefly. Quick look at what's going on the inside. It's good to see Buffy back in action. Wonder, I think this artist here is, let's see, this is written by Jordi Belair, who we've talked about in the past. Dan Mora, I think this is the same guy that actually does a lot of WWE comics, and I do like his stuff, so it's actually really cool to see him do Buffy. I might actually have to give this a read now, unless I'm totally mistaken, but regardless, artwork does look cool. From Albatross, Grumble versus the Goon. I don't know anything about Grumble, but I kind of know about the Goon. And yeah, I'm going to have to read this one as well, because it seems like there are two characters that are kind of mismatched here, but you know that means there's going to be plenty of hijinks ensuing. And for some reason, there's a pug wearing a bowling shirt. Okay, I'm in. Another copy of Deadly Class, and this time I'll actually open it up and give you a little peek what's going on here. I don't know if this is like issue 1 that they're putting back out or something, or if it's just a special book for it. Don't really know. Never read Deadly Class, but I've got some mild interest in it, so this is my first shot at seeing if I actually like it. Bob's Burgers from Dynamite. Now, oddly enough, Bob's Burgers is actually one of my favorites from Free Comic Book Day. I think this is their second, or no, I'm pretty sure this is their third year being part of Free Comic Book Day with Bob's Burgers stuff from Dynamite. And I've actually very much liked their books in the past, so I don't know if I'm going to like this one as much, but oh, it looks like we've got some kind of Star Trek parody. I'm going to like this a lot. Who am I kidding? Battleship Galactina. Oh, I'm in. I'm 100% invested. Interceptor from Vault. I don't know much at all about Vault. I know they're kind of a big up-and-comer these days. I just saw the cover and thought it was a really, really sweet-looking cover, and I hope that I'm not going to be disappointed. And it looks like they're actually giving you the entire issue 1 for free as part of Free Comic Book Day. So that's really cool. From Aftershock, Animosity Tales. Have no idea what's going on here. There's a raccoon and a cat on the cover. I mean, I don't really know what else I need to know about this book besides it's got raccoons and cats. I'm gonna have to give this one a pretty good read though, because this looks like some kind of weird animal stuff going on here. And I like weird animal stories. From Antarctic Press, Punchline. Again, another title that I don't know anything about, and that's the fun part of Free Comic Book Day, is that you take a look at a lot of books you have never otherwise read. Hello. And you get to actually read them, see what's going on with these books, and maybe you find some things you like that you didn't even know that you would. It's a pretty cool fashion, actually, all things considered. I'm curious. Alright. I'm gonna give this one a read after. And rounding things out here, we've got Comic Book Defense League Defend Comics. And our favorite thing is My Favorite Thing is Monsters by Emil Ferris from Fantagraphics. So the CBLDF is a legal fund that raises money for comic book folks that need it for all sorts of various things. And they usually put out a comic with a lot of very small indie, well, I shouldn't really call them small, but a lot of indie stuff to raise awareness of a lot of books you wouldn't, again, otherwise know about. And they're always pretty interesting, so I look forward to reading this one a little bit more in depth. And this last one here from Kino, My Favorite Thing is Monsters by Emil Ferris. I think I've actually heard a little bit about this one. Yes, I actually have. This is pretty cool. I couldn't tell you the exact story because I don't remember it off the top of my head, but it's all, I believe, kind of like written, or, you know, the idea is that's There we go. Yeah, like it's written by some like student or something, and so you can see it's all in loose leaf paper and stuff. I don't quite know. I'm really doing a bad job of explaining it, but it's a pretty cool gimmick, and I really like the artwork in this. Very surprised to get it. So now I can, again, take a look at something I didn't know I was going to look at, see what I think of it. But yeah, this is actually really cool so far. So that's it for Kinokuniya, and now I finish things off with Montasy. So I already got basically a few things you saw, except for this right here, which is the Tick. This was actually my #1 pick to try and find. They've been doing some Tick stuff at previous Free Comic Book Days. I'm a big Tick fan. I had to make sure I found this, and I'm glad I did, because I did not get it at Kino. I don't know how I missed it, and I didn't get it at Midtown, so I'm just glad I finally got this one. I also got Robo Tech, which, again, I did not get either from Kino or from Midtown Comics. Don't know why. I don't even remember seeing it, but again, Kino kind of happened like a blur, so who knows, it might have been there all along and I just didn't pick it up. And lastly, Vampirella from Dynamite, another book that I don't recall seeing even at Kinokuniya, but again, I might have just passed it by, and regardless, I didn't get a copy of it at Midtown, so got it here at least. I don't know if I even like Vampirella, to be honest. I kind of remember her as kind of like a retro character, so I don't really know anything about her, but I'm going to give this a look, I guess, and who knows, maybe I'll see why this thing has lasted as long as it has. So there you go, folks, that's a big heap of comics I got. And that's basically how we do Free Comic Book Day here in New York City, or at least in one of the boroughs, because, again, there's more than just one borough. I know a lot of people who are not New Yorkers, or might actually be international viewers here, a lot of them think New York City is just Manhattan. But no, there's a few other boroughs there. There's Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, Manhattan, Staten Island, then you got Long Island City, and then all the other stuff upstate. So, you know, it's a different experience everywhere you go, but this is how we do it here in Manhattan. And this isn't every single store that's in Manhattan either, because there's also Mysterious Island, which is a rather new comic book store, which would have been closer to Forbidden Planet, but again, not that close to it. And as well as Forbidden Planet. I actually could have gone there on the journey, because I had a lot of time after Midtown, but I kind of wanted to do some other stuff, such as get food and go to the bathroom, because it's really early morning. But yeah, we could have ran down to Union Square and gone to Forbidden Planet and gotten a stack there as well. I know some people did that, in fact, and then came to Kinokuniya. There's also Carmine Street Comics in Manhattan, and then there's the other boroughs, and I don't really even know much about what's in Brooklyn. I know a little bit about what's in Queens, like Royal Comics. I know a few spots in Long Island, but yeah, there's so many other comic stores out there, but this is where most people do it, which is in Manhattan, because you got the biggest chance of getting all the books if you want to actually get all the books. And again, I stress that if you go to these stores, you should not just go there just to get free books. You should spend some money. Just about every store we went to had a special deal going on of some kind, and you should take advantage of those deals, because again, these stores are paying for this. It's not just a free thing. They just get sent boxes of comics. No, they have to actually pay for these comics. So, you know, at least do them the service of spending a little bit of money there and not just going there to take some freebies. So obviously this isn't the full-on review of every single book that I got. Just kind of a quick overview of my bounty. If you want a full review, we may do that actually. We'll see. We might actually go through them one by one. But really, I think you should just go out there and get them for yourself. Or if not, I mean, if you missed Free Comic Book Day already, because this video is going to come out most likely after, I still suggest you go to your local comic store and just pick something up at random, just out of solidarity. Because now, more than ever, you really need to support your local comic stores. Even in the past few months, we've seen a bunch go out of business in New York City, and I can't imagine that's going to get any better before it gets worse. So really go out there, read some comics, spend some money. Just, you know, don't spend a ton, but get something to read for yourself or for someone else. And support our geekdom, because without comic stores, like the places we went to today, well, we're going to have a hard time getting more of these. So you might be wondering what I'm going to do with the doubles I got, and I'm pretty happy I didn't get that many doubles, but I know I do have some. Well, to be quite honest, once I read a lot of these, they often go to either neighbors, coworkers, or friends who didn't get to go to the event, or in some cases I donate them to hospitals. So basically the goal is that I'm not keeping these for me. I'm going to give these to people who might not have had a chance to get them, and give them to someone else who's more important, which in most cases is going to be a kid, because kids should be reading more comics and reading more in general. So don't worry, I wasn't being greedy today with all the comics I got. They all have a purpose. So that's our look at Free Comic Book Day 2019 and how we do it here at Nerd News Today in New York City. Hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope that next year, if you missed it, you go and do Free Comic Book Day for yourself as well. And as for next year, well, my plan this year was actually to live stream Free Comic Book Day, so consider this the dry run. As next year, if we do it again, we're going to probably live stream the entire thing, and we'll give you guys a maybe better tour of all the stores we go to. So yeah, something to stay tuned for next May. So yeah, speaking of, make sure that on the first Saturday of May in 2020, you go to freecomicbookday.com, find out where your local comic book store is participating in the event, and go out to your local stores and get some comics. So, until then, I'm Matthew from Nerd News Today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed our look at Free Comic Book Day 2019, and I hope you guys had a good one as well. See you next time. Did you know that kitties go meow meow?
You just wanted to get that reaction?
Yes.
You suck.